welcome to my Wild About Watches watch charging test. Now, you can see the Apple Watch 7 has 10%, and you will see that the Garmin Fenix 6X also conveniently has 10%. And that kind of worked out handy, that one. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a test as to how well they charge in an outdoor environment using the same power pack. Now, I had a few comments on my last video when I did this test that the power point may have affected things. The power point this time can have no effect whatsoever because it's the same Anker Power Pack. It's not exactly scientific, but we've attached the iPhone here and the Garmin here. All right, this is interesting. So the Garmin Fenix is just taken off like a starship and is on 21%. The Apple, for whatever reason, just struggles and is on 11%. Now I'm going to leave it a little bit longer and see what happens. Garmin is already on,
as you will see, this is more temperature related.
I'm going to leave them be for a bit and just see what happens. And they're both coming out of, and the Garmin is on 23%, and they both started on 10. Obviously in this instance the Garmin is going to win, but also from the point of view, obviously it's a more rugged outdoor watch, and maybe from that point of view it's just easier for it to get power outside. You know, I'm not sure. I've deliberately left the power pack out there for the moment where it's quite cold. It's quite cold weather at the moment. It's probably about 5 or 6 degrees, so you know this is not an easy test for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the power pack into the tent and put it in the comparative warmth of my quilt here, and I kind of like get back to you in a few minutes and just see how things are going. Okay, well, you can see that the Apple Watch is now making some good progress. We can see that we have got to 61%. We might get an indication when we started, when I look back at the recording, but I didn't actually take note of the time. But the Apple Watch is now on 61% and the Garmin is on 93%. So you can see when they're charged at home, the Apple Watch was much quicker. In fact, the Apple Watch in my experiment at home was twice as fast, whereas in this experiment using the same power pack is almost half as slow. It's just changed 62%, and the Garmin Fenix 6X is obviously on 93%. This is a very basic test, of course, and I can check a little bit later on as to how they are progressing. It's getting a little bit dark now, hence I've got my light on to be able to see. The other thing just to note, if you are using these watches for the outdoors, this is a very, very secure fit. So, you know, technically speaking, you, in the winter particularly, will have to charge this in your sleeping bag. And clearly, you could do that in your sleeping bag without any problems. On the other hand, of course,
I don't mean literally shaking it in your sleeping bag.
If you're moving around, you know, inside your sleeping bag,
I mean general movement.
you know, it's not so easy to keep this attached, which is one of the problems that I had, you know, last time. And I'm not doing it or saying this to poo-poo the Apple Watch. You know, it's clearly a very, very good watch. I'm just highlighting, you know, a few of the, you know, a few things that you just need to be, you know, aware of when you're using it. So I will get back to you a little bit later on when either one or other or both are charged up. As you can see, the Apple Watch 7 has now attained 100% charge.
We started at 3:30, so it took 3 hours to charge.
The time is just after 7. Now, I will be fair to it, I was watching Boba Fett and it did attain a full charge around about 6:30. You can kind of like come to your own conclusions, you know, really. You know, if you're thinking about using an Apple Watch as part of your hiking and camping repertoire, then, you know, just taking charging into consideration, you just have to be prepared that it will take longer to charge and is not as easy to charge. As I showed you earlier,
Please like, subscribe and leave a comment below.
it won't easily stay on its charger. Now, you might think that is a silly example, but it's not when you think about the watch having to be as either being in your sleeping bag to charge up, in which case it could drop off in the night and you could end up waking up like I did last time with nil charge. Is really just highlighting that yes, your Apple Watch is perfectly good enough for general, you know, day-to-day hiking, camping, you know, fairly basic stuff.
Mind that touchscreen in the rain.
But I wouldn't be relying on it as much as I would, say, a dedicated outdoor watch such as a Garmin Fenix or anything from the Garmin line. Now, you might think I'm a Garmin fanboy and I'm anti-Apple Watch. Yes, I am, and no, I'm not. I'm just pointing out, you know, pretty obvious highlights and, you know, deficits in these watches for general use when you're camping. So yes, like I said, your Apple Watch is perfectly good enough for most outdoor activities. Just be aware of the touch screen, and obviously you'll be limited with how much you can use the touchscreen, especially in the rain. But we're not really talking about that. And obviously mapping and just general navigation is, I'm pretty sure, going to be better and easier with the Garmin. But I will carry out some more detailed tests for simply a little experiment to see how easy they charge, how quickly they charge in an outdoor camping environment using exactly the same power pack in exactly the same circumstances. And obviously out here with the temperature around about 5 degrees, the Garmin not only charged quicker generally, it also charged quicker when not tucked away in my sleeping bag. And in fact, the Apple Watch only started to charge properly once it was inside the sleeping bag, nice and snug and warm. So just a few little things for you to take away with. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, notification all, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you found this interesting. Like I said, this isn't really one against the other. This isn't poo-pooing the Apple Watch. It's clearly a great watch. I'm just pointing out a few safety features that, you know, if you have an Apple Watch and you're relying on it for navigation, which you shouldn't be, take a map, compass, your phone probably has mapping on it, or GPS certainly. I'm just pointing out, if you have just your Apple Watch, just be careful with power for it. That's basically my safety warning for this video. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, see you again soon.